Team down there trying to work out how to do that. Yeah, and actually this is so much
Flags.
So, and you can give the other side to your friend. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, and if you can return them at the end, brilliant. Okay, thank you so much.
I think she'll be fine. We've got John and we've got Alan. Yeah, we did. Who's the next
Whether you contemplate people, sleep or wake up, no problem.
Hello, fellow rebels. Keep going. Is that okay? Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. My name is Susan Breen. I'm one of the coordinators with Extinction Rebellion. Thanks, I can go now. Just before we kick off, just to remind everybody, there is traffic moving on both sides, so please keep an eye out on the stewards and just move in so you're safe. Also, this is a peaceful, friendly event, so make sure everything is non-violent and happy and all good. You ready? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. So who are we? You've probably been watching the coverage in England in the last few weeks, or the last week. So we started out last year, last October, and since then we've become an explosive global movement in over 100 countries on 5 continents, with thousands of active members, and we're a respectful, peaceful group that believes in using mass civil disobedience as our means of making change. So we are here to tell the truth and to demand the government tell the truth and act accordingly. And the truth is that this is an emergency. The truth is that there are wildfires burning in the Arctic. The truth is that we are destroying 18 million acres of forest per year. That's equivalent to the size of Panama. The truth is that we are destroying 200 species every day, and it's not even newsworthy. The truth is that our extra energy trapped from our carbon emissions is warming our oceans by as much as if 6 atomic bombs were detonated every second. We are not here to cause trouble or disrupt your day. We are here because the governments and corporations are handing a death sentence to our children, and we refuse to be complicit. We will not stay silent. The system is not just broken, it's malignant. It has poisoned every river, every stream. It has caused dioxins to be present in every mother's breast milk and toxins to be in every breath that we take. We demand a new way of life, a society where GDP growth is not the main measure of our progress, a society that rejects the lie that we can have infinite growth on a finite planet. A culture that treasures all life above all else. We call on you to join us to repair, restore and rejoin. not just our lost human communities, but the interdependent, interwoven, intricate community of life that shares our home. When justice becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. And this is our declaration. Humanity finds itself embroiled in an event unprecedented in its history, one which, unless immediately addressed, will catapult us further into the destruction of all we hold dear. This nation, its people, our ecosystems, and the future of generations to come. The science is clear. We are in the 6th mass extinction event, and we will face catastrophe if we do not act swiftly and robustly. Biodiversity is being annihilated around the world. Our seas are poisoned, acidic and rising. Flooding and desertification will render vast tracts of land uninhabitable and lead to mass migration. Our air is so toxic that it harms the unborn while causing tens of thousands to die. The breakdown of our climate has begun. There will be more wildfires, unpredictable superstorms, increasing famine and untold drought as food supplies and fresh water disappear. The ecological crises that are impacting upon this nation, and indeed this planet and its wildlife, can no longer be ignored, denied, nor go unanswered by any beings of sound rational thought, ethical conscience, moral concern or spiritual belief. In accordance with these values, the virtues of truth and the weight of scientific evidence, we declare it our duty to act on behalf of the security and well-being of our children, our communities and the future of the planet itself. We, in alignment with our consciences and our reasoning, declare ourselves in rebellion against our government and the corrupted, inept institutions that threaten our future. The willful complicity displayed by our government has shattered meaningful democracy and cast aside the common interest in favour of short-term gain and private profits. When government and the law fail to provide any assurance of adequate protection, as well as security for its people's well-being and the nation's future, it becomes the right of its citizens to seek redress in order to restore dutiful democracy and to secure the solutions needed to avert catastrophe and protect the future. It becomes not only our right, it becomes our sacred duty to rebel. We hereby declare the bonds of the social contract to be null and void, which the government has rendered invalid by its continuing failure to act appropriately. We call upon every principled and peaceful citizen to rise with us. We demand to be heard, to apply infirm solutions to these ecological crises. We refuse to bequeath a dying planet to our future generations by failing to act now. We act in peace, with ferocious love in this land in our hearts. We act on behalf of life. Thank you all so much. Here comes the wonderful Carew to make some beautiful music for us. Thank you, Carew.
Hello. Hi at the back. How are you all? So it was at a time like this, about 100 years ago, that the Irish people rose for freedom. And it was on a day like this, 20 years ago, where the Good Friday Agreement on Good Friday declared peace between the communities on this island. All of those achievements will be rendered meaningless by what we're facing now. This time we rebel for our mother, for our source, for our provider, all of us together. Thank you. Where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Where have you been, my darling young one? I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains. I've walked and I've crawled on 6 crooked highways. I've been in the middle of 7 sad forests. I've stepped out in front of a dozen dead oceans. I've been 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard. It's a hard rain's gonna fall. What did you see, my blue-eyed son? What did you see, my darling young one? I saw a newborn baby with wild wolves all around it. I saw a highway of diamonds with nobody on it. I saw a black branch with blood that kept dripping. I saw a room full of men with their hammers a-bleeding. I saw a white ladder all covered in water. I saw 10,000 talkers whose tongues were still broken. I saw guns and sharp swords in the hands of young children. And it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain's gonna fall. What did you hear, my blue-eyed son? And what did you hear, my darling young one? I heard the sound of the thunder, it roared out a warning. I heard the roar of a wave that could drown the whole world. I heard one person starve, I heard many people laughing. I heard the song of a poet who died in the gutter. I heard the sound of a clown who cried in the alley. And it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain's gonna fall. And who did you meet, my blue-eyed son? Who did you meet, my darling young one? I met a young child beside a dead pony. I met a white man who walked a black dog. I met a young woman whose body was burning. I met a young girl, she gave me a rainbow. I met one man who was wounded in love. I met another man who was wounded in hatred. It's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain gonna fall. What will you do now, my blue-eyed son? What do you do now, my darling young one? Go back out before the rain starts a-falling. I walk to the depths of the deepest black forest, where the people are many and their hands are all empty, where the home in the valley meets the damn dirty prison. And the executioner's face is always well hidden, where hunger is ugly, where souls are forgotten, where black is the color, where none is the number. I'll tell it and speak it and think it and breathe it. I'll reflect from the mountains so all souls shall see it. And I'll stand on the ocean until I start sinking. I know my song well before I start singing. It's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain gonna fall. It's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain's gonna fall. Thank you. I'm going to welcome to the stage Davina Brady, who's going to give you another song. Thanks so much, everyone.
What time is it now? Is it after 4?
Hey guys, if anybody wants some face painting done, we have Danny here offering free face painting to anyone who wants their face painted. Up here. Thank you, Danny.
So I'm going to just talk through this for 1 second, then use this mic. Hi everyone, my name's Davina Brady. I'm with a band called Sunshakers. Today for me is about love for where we came from, you know. So this track I'm going to play, it's called One Atom, and it just reflects upon each little particle that we are. But yeah, today it's lovely to see your faces. It's lovely to be at this height to see your faces. But we're going to have a little dance, so people ready to dance in O'Connell Street? Yeah, I hope so. We'll have a little dance and then let's get on our way. I pre-made this loop last night. Social migration, segregation, what's designation? The earth, one particle, all one atom. Connected, projected, shall be reflected. Something pre-made, I have to be protected. Travel like to live some ease. A millstones I leave, not a land, it's an ease. My children play with phono memory. They love to me to stop hunger. Enemy, my face is tyranny. It in reflection, die trying to save us from the sad political. Human right, I see the slightest government rejection. My life's in your hands to choose. The sentence to wait every day secure. Stable, to feed my mouth, to hear words I'm able. I am one friend, a friend, one capable of human being by one atom. Dance. You do what's the difference between your child and how they are working to protect you from your drug crime? The difference, ooh, I see no difference. Ooh, I see no difference. Hey, but when I sing them, no, hey, holding on somewhere to sleep at night, and hey, I wanna hold my child, tell her we alright, and I wake up with the morning sun. It's a pouring night. So propagate and segregate, roll and relay. I'm not an immigrant, I'm like you, a template. People sleep or wake up, don't fall, land, small mantle. Mental life, one for all, one meant to lay our heads up. I miss stones I leave, not a land, it's an ease. My children play with phono memory, they love to stop hunger, enemies. So if we got to speak, word to advise them, why are we not living in strife? Opening up our hearts, opening up our homes, so friends with this land that's safe, let's go to wait every day secure. Stable, to feed my mouth, to hear words I'm able. I am one friend, a friend, one capable. You, my me, my one atom. One atom. One atom. One atom. So what's the difference between your child and how they are ready to protect it from your drug crime? The difference, ooh, I see no difference. Ooh, I see no difference. But when I sing them down, home for somewhere to sleep at night, and I wanna hold my child, so we'll be alright. I wake up with the morning sun. We're gonna say we're out together. Ready, up to tree. 1, 2, 3. Run out! Thank you.
Or even holding your hand and stand over there.
Thank you so much, Davina. Oh my God, I'm so short. I'm way too short. Thank you so much, Davina. That was amazing. Thank you so much. So next up we have Mr. Fergal Anderson from Talamh Bio, which is an amazing organisation that defends those producing food, fuel and fibre sustainably. They're doing amazing work, so please put your hands together for Fergal Anderson.
Hello everyone. So we are Talamh Bio, and we are a representative organisation for food producers and land workers across the island of Ireland. We're the living land. because every day we rebel. We rebel against an industrial model of agriculture which destroys our soils, destroys our livelihoods, and does not feed our people. Every day we work in our fields to feed our communities, to build our soils, and to nurture the land, because we know that the land nurtures us. We know another world is possible because we are building it in our fields every day. We struggle for food sovereignty. That's the rights of every citizen and farmer to define the food systems which feed us and to define the kind of landscapes that we have in our countryside. That's a struggle for all of us. We're not alone in Talamh Beo. We're part of La Via Campesina. That's an international movement of peasant farmers, more than 200 million people strong. We stand in solidarity with farmers and peasants around the world who act and struggle against corporate impunity, against an agriculture which is at war with nature. We struggle against the logic of profit, which condemns farms like ours to disappear. And we refuse to disappear. And we will join the struggle for another world. We're the people of the land. We want to fight for a living landscape where farmers and ecosystems can thrive together. Our fight is your fight. And it doesn't matter if you live in the city or a town or in the countryside or on the side of a mountain. The future of the land is the future of us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fergal. That was amazing. Next up, we have Mr. John Houghton from Forest Friends. Can you give John a hand getting up there? So while we're waiting on John, we'll have an old chant for the day that's in it. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. Thank you so much, John.
Use that one.
This one.
Yeah, not that one. Don't use that one.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, just use that one. That's page, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, John.
You want red or sorry, green or black?
Hello, can everybody hear me now? Okay. So my name is John Houghton. I'm from an organisation called Forest Friends Ireland, or Corgin Aquila. We've been in existence since the year 2000, and we have been educating people with regard to trees, how important trees are. And everybody here, when they were knee-high to a grasshopper, heard from their teacher that trees give us oxygen and they take in carbon. But most people, it just went over their heads. So we have to rediscover this again. Now I came across a lady here, Sue is her name, some months ago. I don't know whether she was chasing me or not, but I wasn't chasing her anyway, not so far. So anyway, she was on, I do a radio program once a week about the environment called Enviro on Near FM, and I've been doing that for 25 years. So that's my commitment to education. So I am chairman of Forest Friends Ireland for quite a long time as well. So what's happening is that, as you know, the planet is halfway down the slippery slope. I was talking to somebody there a few minutes ago, and I think we're further down the slippery slope. Now the question is, can we get back up? Maybe we can, maybe we can't. So we need to work really hard on it. Now, what I say to people is, you know, you need this oxygen, but what are you doing to the oxygen? So while we're talking here, there's thousands and maybe millions of trees that are being felled while we're talking. So what are you going to do about it?
what have you done about it so far? The tree outside your house is your rainforest, not somewhere in Africa or somewhere in South America. Now, one of my claim to fame is this, that Fingal County Council, who are the local authority in my area, they began felling trees 25 years ago. They wanted to fell about maybe 400, 500 trees on the basis that they were not the right trees. So I had to engage personally, stand in front of the machines on a daily basis while they were felling trees around me. And they felled about maybe 300, 400 trees. But now they are actually, instead of felling them, they're pruning the trees. And they're doing this all over the city. Now while we're talking here, on building sites throughout the country, in Dublin and the rest, there is tree felling taking place. Now the question is, how do we stop that? I mean, people here can say if there's a building site there, that they shouldn't be able to fell the trees. Okay, so I'm going to do a little test for you here. How long can you hold your breath? How long can you hold your breath? Okay, so we're going to do a test. So everybody put up their hand. Everybody? Okay, so I want you to take a deep breath and we'll see how long can you last before you put down your hand. So when I count 3, then take your deep breath and then we'll see who can last the longest. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You have to take down your hand when you have to breathe again. You're doing fairly well so far. I think there's a few coming down now, is there? Yeah. So you're doing fairly well now. We'll see who can last the longest now. Now, in other words, that you need the oxygen. So you're going to have to take a breath again. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is this. I'm just going to give you 2 little quotes. I was only allowed 5 minutes ago, but 5 minutes, but I'm going to steal another 2 minutes. Right. Did anybody ever hear of Pete Seeger? Yeah. Okay, he's one of my heroes. So here's a quote from Pete Seeger. It says, "O sacred world, now wounded, we pledge to set you free of hate and war and hunger and selfish cruelty. And here in this small corner, we plant a tiny seed, and it will grow in beauty to shame the face of greed." Pete Seeger. Oh, he's dead. One last quote then. Did anybody ever heard of Chief Seattle? Who heard of Chief Seattle? Okay. So here's a quote from him. "All things are connected like the blood that unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He's merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself." So we are part of the web. We're not outside the web. Now the last one is this. There's a group called Deep Forest. Did anybody ever heard of singers called Deep Forest? You've heard of them all, haven't you? Yeah, okay. So here's a quote from them. "Somewhere deep in the forest are some little people. They are our past and maybe they are our future." So they are our future. We have to make them their future. Okay, thanks very much. That's it then from Forest Friends. We have a website, by the way, forestfriends.ie. You'll find everything on the website. Okay.
Thank you so much, John. And John has given us so much airtime on Enviro. He has me on there so much, people are sick of listening to me. So thank you so much, John. So next up we have Mr. John Gibbons, environmental journalist, commentator and all-round legend. Are you here, John? Oh, hey, John. So for Mr. John Gibbons.
Good afternoon. The last time I was here, some of you were here too, it was spilling rain, so hey, we'll take it today. there's lots of things, there's lots of ways into this story, I think, for us. For me, I think probably the one that sticks in my mind more than any other statistic I could throw at you is that the year that I started in primary school, it's not that long ago, the year I started in primary school, from then till now, we've witnessed a 2/3 reduction in all the wildlife on Earth. From the time that I started in primary school until standing here in front of you today. Now, we really need to reflect for a moment on that, where the hell we've gone wrong. And that's about 40 years. Now, for 30 of those 40 years, we've had intergovernmental panels, we've had United Nations, we've had the whole shooting match working on this problem. But they're not working on this problem. What we're doing instead is we're circling this problem. We're saying, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But what we haven't been prepared to do at any stage is to confront the vested interests that are fueling this crisis. It is no exaggeration to say that we live at the most dangerous time in human history. And the younger you are, the more dangerous the time is. Now, this is a frightening fact for any of us who have kids or grandkids, or actually who care at all about the living planet. It's a frightening time to be alive, but it's also an exciting time to be alive, because the next generation will not be able to gather here to do something about this. What they will do is they will look back to 2019, 2020, and they will look around, they'll look at us and say, what did these guys do? Did they stand up? They knew the problem, the crisis. Sorry, a problem is a terrible word. They knew the crisis, they understood the depth of the crisis. And did they act appropriately, or did they say, well, actually, it's a bit inconvenient, but get back to me in a couple of years when I'm not quite so busy? It doesn't work that way. If I can borrow a phrase from the inimitable Greta Thunberg, when you're in a crisis, act like it's a crisis. When your house is on fire, act like your house is on fire. We can do so much better. I mean, did anybody here see the BBC documentary with David Attenborough last night? Yeah? Okay. Look it up, it's on YouTube now today. It's well worth a look. It's absolutely staggering. But what's most staggering is that is the first time the British Broadcasting Corporation has done a documentary on climate change in 12 years. Now, ask yourself a follow-up question. When did our national broadcaster last do a documentary on climate change? My guess is it's probably 10 years, and even at that, that was probably EcoEye. It wasn't the national broadcaster. Now, the good news is there is one coming up in November, but we pay our license fees. We demand and we expect and insist that our national broadcaster do better than this. And also, all our broadcasters, all our media, we're asleep at the wheel. We have to do better than this. We've got to stop treating climate change and climate breakdown like it's some kind of news story when you get some people on the street, and as soon as they're off the street, it's not a story anymore. We saw this in March. We had 15,000 kids on the street in Dublin. We had 5,000 on the street in Cork. Around the world, we had 1.5 million students and young people out on the street. Within 2 or 3 days, it had disappeared from our media yet again. So, where's the leadership going to come from? It has to come through politics, it must be supported by media, but they will only do it in response to people power. And people power starts here, and people power starts now, today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. John Gibbons. So up next we have the Resistance Choir. Kindly come to sing a few songs for us. There, guys. The Resistance Choir.
Hello. Just so you know, you all have some words of our first song based on Neil Young's After the Gold Rush, so we'd like you to help us and join in. Thank you. Once we start.
It's a bit of a tight squeeze up here. It's a good job we don't have all our members.
So we're the Resistance Choir. We're really delighted to be here to support this demo, and we're going to sing you two songs. First one courtesy of Neil Young, and we've taken the opportunity to rewrite some of his words. Hope he's not here today. And we've got some lyric sheets for the first 50 people, so we're going to have an extended choir. The first 50 people, no pressure. You have lyric sheets and you're going to join in. And everybody be listening.
Am I in your way? Their version? Here?
Okay guys, we're on. Go. We're trying not to get electrocuted here.
Yeah, I could.
Take all the lyric sheets there.
Just get down. I'll pass it.
Well, I dreamed I saw a man with yellow hair saying there is no climate change. There were rich men cheering while the poor were starving. with my hand, we can turn this tide around. We're thinking about people taking power. It's time to stand our ground. Thinking about people taking power. It's time to stand our ground.
Well done at the front. Yeah. So this next one, I hope there's nobody from Queen standing in the audience, but there could be. So this is a reworded version of We Will Rock You. And we're all expecting you to join in the beat here. It's a steady beat. Join in the third clap. We do a test. And you can certainly sing the chorus. Instead of We Will Rock You, it's We Will Stop You.
Okay, we don't really have amplification for the cajon, so just maybe people at the front can follow what I'm doing, and then show everybody else.
So this is We Will Stop You. Hold on, too fast.
Okay.
We'll never get all the words in, it's not too fast.
Party and pollute, make a big mess. Time to pay the price, gonna be a big bill to pay. You're tied to our face, your big disgrace. Killing this planet all over the place. We will stop you. We will stop you. Bunny, you're a hard man, come man. Picking up the news, making others know climate change. Blood on your face, you're being disgraced. Time is running out for the human race. We will stop you. We will stop you. Bodies making wars, making big bucks. We will organize, put a barricade in your way. Big as evil face, you're being disgraced. Hearing those bombs all over the place. We will stop you. We will stop you. Transgender black man, black woman, fleeing from the war, just trying to stay alive and safe. The burn on your face, a being disgraced. You wanna build walls, keep them in their place. We will stop you. We will stop you. Second verse. Buddy, you're a hard man, calm man, taking up the news, trying to make them know climate change. The blood on your face, your big disgrace. Time is running out for the human race. We will stop you. Louder. Sing it. We will stop you. Louder. We will stop you. Last time. We will stop you. Thank you.
If you want to join us.
You did it already.
That's it, you would.
Go ahead, say it.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Raymond, just say that.
You can say if anybody wants to join. You go ahead.
And if you want to join us, this is the card we have. We have a few giveaways still. You're welcome, okay? Thank you.
Another one.
You got extra things.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Resistance Choir. Okay, well, we're just getting organised. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about Extinction Rebellion. We're always looking for new people to get involved. You'd all be most welcome if you would like to take part. We're a great bunch. We have great fun, even though we're doing serious work. And yeah, we're lovely people, aren't we, guys? So what we're asking from the government is, we demand that they tell the truth and act accordingly. We demand that they take serious measures to bring down our carbon emissions, and we demand that all policies are enacted in taking into account a just transition, and that this must be in a global context. That whatever decisions we make have to be just for the whole planet, not just for ourselves. So that's what we want from the government. And we're not going anywhere. So they better get used to us. Okay, so what's going to happen now? Just a reminder, we are a peaceful, non-violent group. This is going to be a very harmonious event. What we're going to do now is, when the stewards give us our orders and the road is closed, we're going to move out onto this side of the road and march down to O'Connell Bridge, but not until the stewards give us the word that the road is blocked and it's safe to move out, okay? Okay, so we've got 5 minutes to enjoy the island here, I've just been told. It is a lovely island, Danny, it is a lovely island. So we'll do another chant for the day that's in it. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When our planet's under attack, we stand up, we fight back. Anybody else want to come up and do a chant? Danny? Hey, Danny's going to come up and do a chant. There you go, my love. Thank you, Danny.
Hello, Dublin! Okay, so this is a simple enough chant, but it takes in the 4 elements that we all live by. Okay, so earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Okay? Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Good.
Thank you, Danny. So, we're still trying to get set up here. Anybody else want to come up and do a chant? Mel! Mel! Our very own Mel White, poet extraordinaire. Sorry, Mel.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll do a spontaneous poem that I wasn't expecting to do. It started in a dark place. Oh, there were those who believed it started with a big bang, and those who believed it started with a word from the lips of one man. But the truth was, it started underground. It started the way all things start to grow. It started in a dark place in the harsh depths of winter. It started with a seed bomb. It started under the ground, in the graves of Palestinians, in the rubble that remained of a town, in the eyes of a woman covered by a burqa. It started in a dark place. It started in the skin of children that laboured in sweatshops, raked through landfills mined for cobalt. It started in slums without sunlight. It started in a dark place. It started in the guts of fish suffocated by plastic, in the last gasps of the polar bear, in the horn of a rhino prized by poachers. It started when sea levels rose, when the earth was quaking and people fled their homes amid floods and droughts and hurricanes. It started in a dark place. It started in tower blocks, in tenements and homeless shelters, hobbit holes and squats with windows boarded and curtains closed. It started underground, in tunnels dug to protest the cutting of trees and the laying of pipelines. It started with campaigns and petitions, banners and parades. It started in student bars and warehouse parties, at campfires when guitars were passed around. It started with conversation, it started with education, it started with meditation. It started the way all things start to grow. It started with slowing down. It started with stopping. It started when we stopped pushing forward and pulled back into the earth. It started a cycle of rebirth when the trees had shed their leaves and people stopped believing in eternal growth. It started with letting go of greed, with letting there be winter so that seeds could sprout again. It started in a dark place. It started in barren soil, in former carbon sinks where forests were clear felled, in arid desert scrub where nomads dwelled. It started in the ears of those who could hear the whispers of water, in the stories told to their daughters. It started with listening to the moon. It started in silence. It started in unspoken dialects. It started without violence. It started with a vision. When mankind was asleep, it started creeping into dream time and wrapping round our feet with the tenacity of bindweed. It started to unite us, to rewrite the pathology learned in our childhood. It started a new mythology, a new awareness that the biosphere is shared. People started to care, they started to look for solutions. It started a revolution. It ended pollution, ended oppression, ended the perception that human nature's cruel and survival of the fittest meant every man for himself. It ended poverty and wealth. It ended war. There were those who believed it would end with a big bang and those who believed there was no end to the damage done by man, but the truth was it ended. The way it all began, shrank back into the earth, refertilized the soil and prepared the ground for the future. It ended. The way all things ceased to grow.
Thank you so much. The amazing Mel White. Now we have Lauren Ginnery here to play us a song as well. Lauren has kindly offered from the crowd. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Hello. This song is called Sing Us a Song, Steve.
Yes. Turn it up.
So tonight we are gathered, we made a campfire, baby. It's been a very, very long time since we all sat down and chilled. So come on, sing us a song, Steve. It's the end of the summer, the light is starting to fade. We're not as free as we are tired, but we've got some things to share. So come on, sing us a song, Steve. 'Cause I've got the feeling your voice is gonna keep us warm. Your words heighten our spirits, and your wisdom shines bright. So tonight we are gathered, we made a campfire, baby. It's been a very, very long time since we all sat down and chilled. is starting to fade. We're not as free as we are tired, but we've got some things to share. So come on, sing us a song, dear. Hold on, sing us a song, dear. Cause I've got the feeling your voice is gonna keep us warm. Your words, they heighten our spirits, and your wisdom shines bright. Cause I've got the feeling your voice is gonna keep us warm. Your words, they heighten our spirits, and your wisdom shines bright. Sing it. Say it one more time. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Lauren Gilly. Okay, guys, we have our stilt man in place. We're ready to move. So everybody, please, carefully, calmly, peacefully, come out onto this, the left-hand side of the road or the east side of the road, and we're going to march slowly behind the banners down onto O'Connell Bridge. Okay? Thank you so much. Please be careful. Please be safe. The banner is down in front. The stewards are along the side. Please just follow their orders and keep safe. Thank you.
People got the power. People. Power to the people. People got the power. Power. People. People got the power.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
People.
People. Power.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
People got the power.
People got the power.
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 People.
People.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. People got the power.
A huge inconvenience to get here.
The change happens.
My friend just studied, so it's like, I don't know how
System change, not climate change. System change, not climate change.
Not too heavy, like
Woo!
No more coal, no more oil. Keep our carbon in the soil. System change, not climate change. We're not running under attack.
I've probably heard about the scones actually.
This is inconvenient. We definitely apologise to people who are stuck in traffic and so on, but climate breakdown is inconvenient. So, yeah.
How long will you stay on the bridge?
Some of us will stay here for a good long time. That's why I'm on this ladder, to make it difficult.